This is the Danube, one of Europe's mightiest rivers. I've done a lot of land travel around Europe before, but experiencing this continent through its rivers is a wholly different experience. I find it slower, immersive, and honestly quite meaningful. Especially when the river in question is the Danube, one of the most historically and culturally important rivers in the world. Recently, I've taken an unexpected journey I never saw coming, a river cruise along the Danube. So on this video, I would like to take you along on one of the most meaningful trips I've ever done, because this wasn't just another river cruise for me. Unexpectedly, my second river cruise was a journey that actually marked the start of my new path, becoming a travel advisor. It's true when they say life takes you into unexpected adventures, and this cruise wasn't just scenic, it was transformative. And it all happened aboard the Amadeus Nova, where, along with Salvador de Sommelier, we were invited to be trained with the Rivercruise King Academy to step into the world of river cruises. So while I was taking in grand architecture and quiet river towns, I was also stepping into a whole new adventure, officially becoming someone who helps others experience this kind of travel for themselves. We went earlier this year, last March, during the shoulder season. In springtime, when these European capitals and towns are quieter and enjoyable in their off-season way. This was my first time to cruise on the Danube, focusing on the upper part of the Great River, starting in Vienna in Austria, passing through Bratislava in Slovakia, and then round trip in Dürnstein, in the UNESCO preserved landscape of the Wachau Valley in Lower Austria, and returned full circle to Vienna. In one stretch, we were in major city with opera houses, museums, and cafes, and next we glided past medieval castles and abbeys perched above the river, surrounded with nothing but valleys and vineyards. Even though it was just a few days, it felt like we stepped into centuries of history, all just unpacking a suitcase once. We began this journey in Vienna. I've been in Vienna twice before and have already created 2 episodes on this grand, majestic city. Make sure to watch those videos before going to Vienna for an immersive guide to a city that I personally adore and admire. I find this city to be a perfect starting point for a river cruise. This city isn't just beautiful, it's grand, elegant, imperial, and steeped in culture. You've got stunning opera houses, grand palaces, and coffee houses that treat pastry like high art. Vienna in March was surprisingly super sunny, so we were greeted with warmth on our arrival, and we had a truly warm welcome by Dave himself, the Rivercruise King, along with Erica and Chris Camiso from Journey with Erica, leading the Academy of Travel Agents and students whom we all get to meet and greet. And we kicked off this wonderful walk around the stunning imperial city, revisiting regal Vienna and even going into St. Stephen's Cathedral. Along with Salvador de Sommelier and Patrick from Patrick Guide Barcelona, we even get to grab a bite from one of my favorite spots, Zum Schwarzen Kamel, this 400-year-old restaurant and bar institution right at the heart of Vienna's upscale district at Bognergasse, tucking into hearty open sandwiches and yes, a Viennese classic, the Sachertorte. Pretty soon, it was time for a cruise embarkation. We arrived at the port with a giddy mix of being travelers and students. Suitcase on hand, heading for a cruise that was also a classroom. We checked into the sleek, elegant, and brand new ship, the Amadeus Nova, our floating home for the next 6 days and our training ground. In our cabin, the most elegant river cruise cabin suite I've seen, with a great panoramic balcony where we can enjoy the Danube views for days. Before our first session began, we enjoyed exploring the ship below and above deck, as well as enjoying an afternoon tea in the cozy panoramic lounge. Then the serious stuff begins, as Dave, Erica, and Chris walked us all through the whole program for this cruise academy. We could already feel the excitement and anticipation with bated breath of everything that we are about to learn from these masters. Moments later, we had a welcome party with the wonderful presence of the ship's crew and captain, followed by a lively welcome dinner with fantastic dishes. We even got to say hello to our resident cruise chef. We enjoyed the evening so much with such great food, wines, and company of great people, wrapping up our first day in the Danube really nicely. The next morning, we woke up in a different country, in Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. We were docked here in the city for 2 nights, but for our first full day here, we rolled up our sleeves for a busy work and study session. immersing ourselves into the Rivercruise King Academy program completely. This wasn't just your typical seminar. Imagine learning how to plan, market, and lead group cruises while actually being on one. Our morning session involved nailing down our group cruises and ideas, and then putting them all into action as we started building our own landing pages, putting everything we've learned into practice, diving into platforms like Canva and CRM software such as TravelJoy, and getting into grips with the technical side of travel. Travel isn't always pretty, mind you. There's so much hard work that goes behind it. And of course, not forgetting exercise breaks in between sessions is a must. Then we get to share a joyous meal after a long day of hard work. It was on a third day that we got to go out and experience this whimsical, magical city that is Bratislava. A small capital with a big personality, sitting on the border between three countries, Slovakia itself, Austria and Hungary. It's a pretty picturesque place and has a great deal of quirk, including this pastel-hued blue church of St. Elizabeth that feels like ripped from a fairy tale dream. We walk through a really charming old town with a gorgeous old town hall, leading to a grand square with Maximilian's Fountain, or better known as Roland's Fountain, named after a famous knight, a defender of Bratislava. The city is also really popular with the sculptures, especially this one, by Chumil, a handyman peeking out of the drain that's perhaps Slovakia's most photographed sculpture. This was a fresh morning walk, and also a great way to bond with our fellow travel agents who have all been so wonderfully open and accommodating, also trying to loosen up and have fun before the day's work. Life aboard the Amadeus Nova was a rhythm of learning, laughing, and watching the world drift by. And yes, it's a lot of learning, as we get to the nitty-gritty of running group cruises and travel, navigating the manifold world of customer relationship management. Creating itineraries is something I already do as a travel creator, but along with other skills such as web design, social media management, we learned how to hone these skills, give it structure, and promote our groups in a seamless way. Meals were also a highlight, as we got to enjoy wonderful gourmet food on board, from lunch to dinner, connecting with our fellow travelers and agents, sharing ideas and learning from each other while the Danube slid by outside our windows. Being on board gave me the rare chance to see both sides of the river cruise industry, the guest experience and the business behind it, and that dual perspective is going to shape the way I plan trips forever. The next morning, we woke up in Dürnstein. This river cruise has given me a lot of firsts, including visiting the storybook village in Austria's Wachau Valley, this incredibly scenic part of Lower Austria that's preserved as a UNESCO World Heritage cultural landscape. We took a fun group photo outside, commemorating this first Academy cruise with Dave leading the charge as ever, before we all headed for a fabulous morning walk around this incredibly scenic small town, surrounded by hillside vineyards everywhere. This being a significant wine region in Austria, famous for its Riesling and Grüne Veltliner grape varieties. Dürnstein gave us a perspective of a beautiful medieval town along the Danube valleys, a place that really feels like a time capsule in itself. We visited the beautifully Baroque Dürnstein Abbey, its clock tower, a true icon on the Danube, and we get to explore its charming, winding streets and even take a glimpse of the ruins of the Dürnstein Castle, where the English king, Richard the Lionheart, was imprisoned, as the story goes. This being the shoulder season, we get to really enjoy the town free of crowds, soaking in the town's character in its own quiet way. And even get to taste one of the most famous products here, apricot liqueur, which I find absolutely delicious and a must-have when you're visiting here. This is the kind of port you can only reach in a river cruise. Intimate, walkable, utterly charming. Here, the Academy's lesson was simple: sell the romance. Because once you've stood here, you'll want everyone you know to experience it too. On our penultimate day, we were back in Vienna where it all started. We had a full hands-on day of work and sessions, taking to the finish line what we've all learned and accumulated intensively for the last 5 days. On this day, we get to finalize our products and booking sites ready to launch. And before we knew it, We were celebrating our final evening on this Academy cruise with an incredible surprise performance by Lindsay Hamilton, our favorite West End star, who gave us a stellar performance as always, who was also part of this Academy cruise as our fellow travel agent.
Dave's world, and it's not a place we have to hide in.
And our evening couldn't be any better, as we all celebrated with our new milestones with a superb farewell dinner feast under Amadeus Nova. As the crew broke out a surprise and served us baked Alaska for dessert. This was such a remarkable day, and one that will forever take me as the beginning of my new adventure as a freshly schooled travel advisor. Thanks to the incredible patience of our amazing mentors, Dave, Erica, and Chris, who've worked so magnificently, sharing their expertise, knowledge, and their love for travel and this industry with us. Our last day in Vienna felt different. The Rivercruise King Academy had just wrapped 5 intense days of learning, sharing ideas, and discovering the ins and outs of group travel. My mind was still buzzing with information, my heart full from the milestone of officially becoming a travel advisor. But now it was time to slow down. We let ourselves just be in Vienna. No agenda, no training schedule, just long meandering walks through one of my favorite cities in the world. First stop, the Belvedere Palace and Museum, a place I never tire of. Salvador hasn't been here, so I showed this place to him gladly. The place is even more beautiful in the sunshine, and inside, the art warms you even more. Klimt's The Kiss, stealing the spotlight as always. I love how the Belvedere blends grandeur with intimacy. Every room feels like it's holding a secret. From there, we also visited the Kunsthistorisches Museum, seriously one of my favorite art museums in the whole world. For Salvador, this is his first time visiting the museum, but for me, this is like walking down memory lane, and a very gilded one at that. This is one of the reasons why I love Vienna so much. This city is an epicenter of culture and art. Walking around here feels like there's boundless history and creativity, where you can literally wax lyrical on some of humanity's greatest works of art, including this building, which is an imperial masterpiece in itself. In Vienna, we let the streets guide us, even stopped by for a sizzling bratwurst at the local stand, an unpretentious snack, and then followed by elegant desserts, because while in Vienna, you seriously cannot miss the incredible coffee houses. This time we went to Gerstner, a hallowed cake maker and cafe that's one of my favorites in Vienna, and I went for a Klimt cake to celebrate dear old Gustav, with walnut, marzipan, chocolate, and flakes of gold. Nothing better than eating a cake inspired by the kiss. We ended our day in Vienna by going to a wine bar, tasting some wonderful Austrian wines. Looking back, I couldn't have ended up in a more beautiful city to close the page on this milestone. For this trip, this river cruise was in every sense of the word a milestone. This cruise was a turning point in everything I've been doing in my In the Mood for Life channel for the last 5 years. I've been creating these videos, episodes, showcasing places and destinations, providing helpful guides to help people experience these places in hopefully the most joyful, insightful, and respectful way possible, and inspiring travelers to create their own meaningful memories along the way. And now I get to do that officially as a travel advisor. On this cruise, Dave the Rivercruise King himself offered us to become associate travel advisors under the Oasis Travel Network. And I confess, it's something I never saw coming. Here is an expert in the travel industry who has offered the opportunity to take my life of travel to the next level. As I look back, the Rivercruise King Academy gave me real hands-on experience, not just learning logistics or techniques, but understanding what makes these trips so impactful for people. And this made an impact in my life. I came on board as a traveler, I left as a travel advisor, taking my brand In the Mood for Life with a new sense of purpose. In these past few days, I've soaked in the magic of Vienna, Bratislava, and Dürnstein, deepened my love for the Danube, and learned how to turn travel dreams into reality. This river didn't just carry us through Europe, it carried me to the next chapter of my life, with a commitment to creating the kind of journeys that inspired me to get here in the first place. And now I can create this experience for others, and I'm excited to bring people along with me in the future, sharing incredible adventures and journeys like this. If you've ever dreamed of cruising the rivers of Europe, come with me. The next chapter of the story could be yours. I'm co-hosting a Danube cruise next year, not just any other cruise, but Christmas cruise on a Danube, on the amazing and brand new Amadeus Nova. What could be better than sailing in the most magical time of the year, visiting Europe's best Christmas markets, from Vienna and all the way to Nuremberg in Germany, with stops in Melk, Passau and Regensburg, home to original and traditional German Christmas markets that are just the most magical ever. Join us in December 2026 for a 7-day cruise visiting Christmas markets in Europe, co-hosted by none other than Dave, the Rivercruise King, with over 35 years of experience in the travel industry. You can rarely be in any better hands. And if you've ever wondered whether a Danube River cruise is worth it, this is the cruise to go to, and we have an entire ship to ourselves. Most Christmas cruises are already nearly sold out this year, 2025. The last cabins go out really expensively, and it's now the time to book for the Christmas 2026, and our Amadeus Nova cruise cabins are currently at an unbeatable price, with excursions and all-inclusive gourmet dining on board, with free-flowing drinks at every meal. It's a Christmas cruise you will truly remember. Email me to secure your spot, jans@inthemoodforlife.com. Scan the QR code or book your cabin directly, christmasdanube2026.inthemoodforlife.com. Only last cabins are available. The ship is nearly sold out. Thank you for watching this video, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the In the Mood for Life YouTube channel for more video episodes and travel inspirations. Follow me on my social media outlets so you won't miss a thing. That's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.